Greetings and salutations, my name is JW608, and today we're playing Starmade, and we're going to talk about the wonderful world of stabilization. Because remember, we have this reactor, and it's only putting out 4,000 energy per second, and we need it to put out 10 million. So we need stabilizers. Well, what's a stabilizer, I hear you cry? Well, a stabilizer stabilizes the reactor, as I said last time. Oh, that looks new. Reactors become unstable as they get larger, and you can't use unstable energy. I'm making this up, hopefully, in terms you can understand, because I don't think there's any game mechanic saying it's unstable. Anyway, you need stabilizers. So by plopping these groups of stabilizers down, you're increasing this stabilization number and increasing this recharge to what it actually should be. Now, once you hit 30% stabilization, the recharge gets to 100% of what it should be. Once I get 30% stabilization of this reactor, it should give me 10,200,000 power. So, what about stabilizers? Now when you look here, you see stab efficiency of block to place, 0.1%. So if I was to place this stabilizer right there, it is 0.1% effective out of 100 for that single block. See, nothing here has changed. And it recommends, it is 1 meter out, and it recommends that this stabilizer be 915.8 meters away for total stabilization. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have a stabilizer that far out, man. So what we're going to do is we're going to cheat the system. We are going to put a stabilizer out back here under, what is this? I don't even know what this is. Engineering? Bunks. Under life control, or under here we're going to put a load of stabilizers. And I think it's like a 1-to-1 ratio or something like that. So I should probably be like counting to see how many stabilizers I'm actually putting down. But then it'll make it seem like I actually plan things other than really simple math to figure out a huge reactor. Alright, what is that? That is the stabilizer beam or power stream. I call it the power sausage. It freaked me out the first time I saw it. I thought the game was buggy. But it goes in a straight line from your reactor to your stabilizer group. And you might be thinking, well, that's not good. It's cutting right through your cutter hanger, and that's hideous. And if it gets shot, it does bad things to you. So what you can do is grab these guys. These are reactor stabilizer stream nodes. And by placing these, you can direct the stream. You can guide the stream and more where you want it to go. So let's kind of pull him this way. And I'm selecting these, hitting C, then dropping the next one, instead of doing V, and it redirects the stream. So now I don't have the stream cutting through the hanger, instead now it's jetting alongside this wall here. And it can be real fidgety, especially once we get multiple efficiency stabilizers. It can get just a little strange. Alright, so you put out all those stabilizers. Notice I have 2.4% stabilization, but my energy recharge is already, wow, almost to 1,000,000. Which is great. Not enough. I want more, because I'm greedy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another group out this way. Let's figure out what center is. Let's go, I don't know, 100 meters. And I don't care so much about pre-stabilization. Actually, no. I want to know exact center, not eyeballed center from a crooked hallway. What I do for find exact center for my ships is I usually come up to the core and use symmetry mode on the core, or I'll have a particular line that I want done or on. For example, there was on the back side of that hangar a red block that I had put down to help me find center. Anyway, let's put out 99. Not that. That is not what I want. 99 hull, but it says it needs to be optimal 915 meters out. Yes, it does. So let's give it a good chunk here. But notice, watch it go 2.4. Watch this skyrocket to 10%. That's because I'm getting oh, whoa, I don't want that. I want that higher. That's because I'm getting a stabilization bonus. It's a stabilization bonus. Well, the more sides of a reactor you have stabilizers on, the more efficient your stabilizers are going to be. So let's give this thing wings. It thinks it's riddle. You don't have to have these gray hull, but I'm doing here to make it easier for placement. And these are going to be really, really close. But that's alright with me. Alright, and the game's saying, oh, wait a minute, I have to do that twice? And see how the red, that's because that's not particularly stable. Okay. I think I'm going to add more to the front here and lengthen this. Elongate it, I guess. Let's see. Dimension used, 4 of 6. See? Every time you put stabilizers on an opposite, or one of the 4 dimensions, above, below, behind, before, to the left, and to the right of it, it gives you dimension bonuses. And also the further away they are, they give bonuses. Or bonuses, they give more stabilization. Let's cut that down a bit, because it is getting a little greedy on the processing power there. And placing stabilizers farther and farther away from the reactor gives you better stabilization. Now this is not a great example of good stabilization because this reactor is ginormous. Like, you will probably not, or a sane person would not build a reactor quite this size. But as you notice, as we approach, that we hit 35%, we have 100% recharge. Now, any stabilization we have extra is bonus. So if we're in a battle and we lose, I don't know, 9 or 5, we can lose 5% stabilization without it having an effect on our reactor. Come on, there you go. That's in a hallway. I don't want it to be in a hallway. Go like that. There you go, you silly game. That's 41. That jumps it to 49. And I'm not real sure the shape of this ship yet. I'm going to let the systems dictate it. Then we're going to work on armor. There we go, 58%. And notice recharge isn't going up anymore because we hit the 30%. I want to have lots of stability. Not because I have to have 100% stability, because I don't. It's because I want to have high because this is a combat vessel. If it gets into battle, I don't want it being hampered because, oh no, they shot out all the stabilizers. How long is this thing getting now? Yeah, 400, 500 meters. That's probably close to what I figured. Actually, I was thinking this would probably end up like 600 meters long. And don't worry, you aren't going to need distances like this for your fighters. This is, as I said, this is insane. Only crazy people do it like this. And you can put them in lumpy designs like this and whatnot. Because when you're dealing in volumes of blocks this large, integrity doesn't really matter. Sort of like politics. In fact, I could probably cut perk half these wings off and it won't affect anything. What do you mean it won't affect anything? Was it display remove mode? See, that was 2%. That was less than 2%. We'll just shave some of this off. There we go. And that. Yeah, that did take a good chunk off. But I can add it back with less. Fewer blocks already. You saw how many times it took me to remove all that, then one click. So twice on each side. I already got me back up to 63.8%. That's because these are further away, and I'm cashing in on the dimension bonuses. In fact, I wonder, can I... it's going to be hard to get a dimension bonus going that way because I don't want to cut through. Actually, tell you what, can we do something like that? That's going to pull all those, and hopefully it's going to... Well, it did something weird there. Okay. Well, that's weird what it did. Like I said, the stabilizer core doodads are a little funky. Wait a minute, is something not connected right? I don't know. As long as it works, I'm good. Can I bring you up a bit? Except use the proper axis. And use these not so much for their stabilizing power, but more for dimensions. Yep, 5. 5 out of 6 dimensions. Oh look, negative 609 integrity. Oh, but that's okay, because I have enough of them touching. That's not worth it for all the weird stuff that's going on. Okay. And basically you're trying to fit in stabilizers. In fact, I probably shave all these off and add similar to the front. I'm not going to. There we go. Something like that. Let's see if we can get it to 80. I would really like to get it to 100, but... There we go. Also, making these weird shapes affects the integrity, but... Like I said, for what we're doing, it isn't going to do an awful lot of... Because there's dealing in so many blocks, the integrity isn't quite as disastrous if you don't have it quite right. If we're in a fighter, integrity is everything. There we go, we got it up to 81% stabilized. So that means I can lose 50% stabilization. I can lose, not half, a little less than half of all these stabilizers and still get 100% usage from my reactor. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh my, this was a lot of work. Yeah, it kind of was. And wow, that takes up a lot of space. This one takes up a lot of space. All right, I need to figure out what Earth is going on with that. Stop that. Go away. Okay, that fixed it. Except I don't want you there. So let's bring you here. No. Let's hit you to there, and then you to that one. That kind of worked. Actually, yeah, that worked. Oh, and I had symmetry mode on, so it's done weird things to the other side. Cool. All right. Yeah, don't expect me to explain the wonky power sausage stuff. Well, actually, let's get rid of this node here. This is basically trial and error. There we go. Yeah, but on the reactors you're going to be building in smaller ships, say like 50 meters long, you aren't going to need nearly this many stabilizers and nearly this distance. This is a huge ship, and it's got wings. Or now it has wings. I don't know how I feel about the wings. I might trim the wings down off camera, and maybe add a little bulk to the front end. But as long as you have it in multiple dimensions, it cuts down the need, and try to get your stabilizers as far away from your reactors as possible. In fact, adding more stabilizers to the back end here is going to be more efficient than adding them to the front. So I'm going to cut these wings down, add a little to its backside, and I'm going to tinker with it off screen because that's half of it. Half the battle is trying to figure out what exactly you're doing, what you want, all that good stuff. And for this ship, I'm not too worried because I'm letting these systems dictate its shape. So that's going to be fun. Anyway, I am GW608. This is Starmade, and I really don't want this winglet thing to be that long. So we're gonna clip that. There we go. We lost a whole bunch of stability. Let's just throw it on its rear end. Most of this is going to be thrusters anyway. Put weapons on the front. There we go. We already got 75% back. Actually, adding more to this here. Come on, 81%. 87. Integrity's still good, and again, we will get to integrity. Don't worry about it. There you go. Got to 93. Just taking off that little bit up front and adding it to the back. And again, you're gonna have to do that. I do recommend having the little side winglet or things on the side of nothing else to give you the bonus for the extra dimensions, because every dimension you have stabilizers on the side of a reactor. It cuts down the overall distance required for decent stabilization. So there we go. We got a fairly well stabilized ship. Again, I might do some tweaking off camera, like I said I was gonna do, except I filmed it. Such is life. Alright, I'll really let you go this time. I've been JW608, this has been Starmade, and I'll dig you cats.